I've really tried hard up until this point of this season not to really pick apart the show like I'm doing today.
Today's a bad one for this. It's
so hard.
This episode has a lot of problems, and everybody, like, it is Reddit was tearing into me. It's like, no, this episode is only entertaining at surface level. It does not hold up to any scrutiny whatsoever.
Yeah, it doesn't.
So we find out that Frankie's still messaging Caleb over the ham radio, and that nobody monitors ham radio traffic.
Oh my God, that's a fucking another thing. Like, you could triangulate that, especially with the technology. Like, you could know where this is fucking constantly coming from, this signal. Like, you would know immediately, like, oh, hey, that's Frankie's voice. Or she's trying to reach out to Caleb. I don't know.
It's on a frequency. They have an established FCC radio frequency that they use.
Yeah, that they only use, right? Well, I don't know.
Well, I mean,
unless Frankie doesn't say anything specific. Maybe she doesn't say Caleb ever.
I think she just says dad, but yeah.
Maybe they're just like, oh, it's some random person that's radioing stuff, but it's still an outlier.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because it's not anybody's loop to talk on the radio.
She doesn't care about, I guess she doesn't really care that much. Hale doesn't care that much about most of the outliers. I don't know. No fucking clue.
Except that she wants to wipe them out, and she has drones that do that, but she doesn't try very hard, that's for sure. So yeah, she introduces Jay to non-existent Caleb and says, oh, I'd always like to have a brother. And Jay gets really pissed off. He's like, I'm not your brother. And I had a brother and he's dead now. And so we go to modern times, quote unquote, depending on what timeline you think is modern. And it's C driving Bernard after excavating Maeve in the remnants of the demolition zone, where I guess they were building a new park. Are going to build a park. And Bernard does his thing. It's like, yeah, I know exactly where you're taking me to. So she takes Bernard to the Rebel secret fortress. And it's a fortress that really stands out because it's the fucking Temperance Park.
What a great spot.
Yeah.
No one will know we're here.
Yeah.
Let's stay in the robot place.
Let's stay in the robot place where the infestation started. Where it was developed and where it started.
How insane is that?
It's fucking dumb. Like, at least go to Westworld.
This is one of those things to where the writer's like, I'll look cool if it's all dirty and dusty in the future time.
The problem is the only reason
they get to reuse the set too. So.
They need to reusing the set's good, but the only reason that the rebels are there is because they need Bernard to have access to that technology. So let's put the rebels in the stupid place so it's easier for Bernard to do his thing, to tell this overall story.
Yeah. Yeah, I wish they didn't say it as their base. If they were just like, I don't know, they could have made that way easier. Like, they were just, Bernard needs to go there to, get made. But that's not where their secret base is, They know of this place, but they don't fucking go there. It's dangerous. But they take Bernard there anyway. So they can get Maeve.
But they need the confrontation that happens later.
Cool.
So Bernard takes the opportunity to walk C around Temperance World because they need to get a new control ball, because for some reason sand is detrimental to a sealed control unit, but just laying out in the dust for 20, 30 years, not as much. Okay. Yeah. That's fine. Mm-hmm. Bernard also shows C that Hale used mirrors in Temperance World instead of hats to scan the guests. So that's cool.
Because of vanity.
Yeah.
Oh, humans are so vain. Oh. I say that stuff's kind of silly. Like, yeah, it's just the line that's used of like, oh yeah, the vanity, like, humans are so simple.
Yeah, the writing.
If they were just like, yeah, like, I don't know, sometimes people look in the mirrors are, it's an easy thing. Let me just put them here.
Yeah. The dialogue in this episode is definitely not as...
They could have put them on the fucking toilets. Like,
everybody poops.
Oh, I think I got that from somebody else. I don't think I made that line up myself. Just want to say that.
Okay. Yeah, the dialogue in this episode is really weak compared to the dialogue from last week's episode. And like, because everything feels like, boy, this feels forced. This is weak, but
Yeah.
Whatever.
60% of the time.
The dialogue's good.
Yeah.
Oh, they don't have a lot of time with the hookup, the transference of Maeve's corrupted brain ball into the new brain ball, because
He only has USB-A.
Yeah. So. Yeah, they've upgraded since then. It's Thunderbolt or nothing. So they need to find an adapter.
Mm-hmm.
And even then, you're still limited by the transfer speed of USB-A. So it's going to take a while. And they don't have that kind of time because Jay's coming back. They went all the way to New York and back in the time it took them to go just down the road to excavate Maeve and come back to Temperance World. So,
well, here's the thing. I will say they did take a drone. So those drones could fly pretty fast. You know, they didn't just drive there, because that's what I thought too. And then on second watch, I'm like, oh, they came out on one of those drones, those flying drones,
which,
you know, like Man in Black has, you know, at the first episode of the season.
But again, how do you do?
So that could fly. That could probably get you to LA to New York in 6-7 hours. Maybe.
Okay, I'll give you that. What I have a problem with in that case is how do you do anything in airspace in a fucking world controlled by hail?
I don't know. Okay.
Yeah. I mean,
or be the only boat in the harbor.
Yeah, I mean, either way, it's whatever. Like I said, it's pedantic. This complaint is pedantic. I'm not gonna.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, we all watched Game of Thrones. We knew Baelish could get across the world in an episode, so it's fine.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna sweat it. But yeah, Jay's pissed off. He informs them that they knew that they were coming, which of course they did because you took a fucking plane, and. So obviously they have a mole. It's not. They didn't look at the skies at all. It must be a mole,
right? The drone plane is the mole.
What's this thing flying that's showing up on our radar that we haven't used in 30 years? Somebody must be coming. Fuck, they're on to us. We must have an inside leak. So C goes, oh, well, obviously it's Bernard. She shoots Bernard. Bernard doesn't react or reacts very little. It's like, there's your mole. He's a fucking host. Bernard and Stubbs gets tied up to shitty wooden chairs from Temperance World, which, again, they're robots. They should be able to break out of those pretty easily. Mm-hmm. And
their straps are way too high up. You could just shimmy those off. You got to put those way lower.
Yeah, Mike knows.
You could definitely shimmy
Mike knows. He's been restrained a lot.
We could do a test. I guarantee it. We could film it. You put them that high, I'll get it fucking off. You tie it as hard as
that would make a great TikTok.
I'll make it work. But you tie it lower, you got to make it tighter than your shoulders.
But again, if you're a robot and you've got...
I'm an expert on tying people
if you have hydraulic arms, you can probably get out of them.
Yeah, see, even if that... So I'm just talking about a human. Mm-hmm. But yeah, they should just be like, brink.
But Bernard...
But that might not work for his simulation, So
yeah, I mean, well, that's the plot armor of Bernard. Anything that they do, any goofiness can be attributed to Bernard's simulation theory.
60% of the time, I break out of this really easy. I'm like, ha! Shoot me again. It doesn't hurt me. She's like, but some other hosts, it really does. Yeah. Just one shot in the
Sometimes you can just stab one right in the side. But not me. You've killed me many times, but in this reality, you're really fucking bad at it. Jay's going in to check on Maeve and probably kill her, but C's already there. They have a chat and a drink, and Jay mentions that she's like a sister to him. Oh, which immediately gives him away because he never wanted to be her sister. He must be the robot. And we get the fucking flashback.
Oh, good thing we had that flashback. Oh, even after 23 years of working together against the robots, he still feels that there's no way that she could be part of his family.
Yeah, that is dumb. But whatever.
What an asshole.
He's a real...
I'm glad that fucking guy's dead.
But we do find out, and I was so adamant about this last episode, and you can clip that, and it's like, Tim said no way they'd fucking do this because that would be fucking dumb. and they did it, and it's fucking dumb. They killed Jay in the stairwell when he was going up to meet the Man in Black by another Jay, another adult Jay, and replaced him. Just like Mission Impossible 2, we're going to do that trick twice. And here's why it's fucking stupid. One, they already did it. And if they were going to do it, there was a way to make them do it right. And they absolutely did not do it right. But the other issue is Jay has been off the fucking grid for 30 years. How did they make a copy of it?
I don't know. Maybe he passed a mirror in Temperance. If that's their fucking stupid base.
That can't work. That can't work, because if they're using mirrors from Temperance, then they already know where they all are. They can wipe them out anytime.
Oh my god!
Like they don't have to send an inside man to get Frankie. They already know where Frankie is. They can drone the shit out of it.
Right. Yep. Okay. I don't know. Maybe he passed a mirror in the Hales, New York, or whatever.
I mean, I guess they could have gotten scanned on another outlier mission. But again, the viewer is left to make some really large logical leaps in order to make this fucking twist work. Even though it's not really a twist, I mean, other people.
Unless they just used, whatever they had from when he was younger.
And just extrapolated what he might
just tried to extrapolate.
That doesn't usually work.
That's the only logical thing I can think of. And that's why it didn't work.
Well, it didn't work. Even when you try to extrapolate what somebody's going to look like when they're older, that's not always what they look like. Like we've.
Oh yeah, but I don't know. Apparently, it looks like she can print hosts really fast. At least that's what I got from this episode, as far as like with the Kayla bodies, because in time it seems like it all happens very quickly, and he's like reprinted like very, very, very
within at least like a matter of a day.
Yeah, or less. I almost think it's less. I would say half a day.
Okay.
Maybe 2.5 hours.
But again, they're only there for a short amount of time. So that's a really short amount of time to get a Jay with Jay's voice and make Jay passable enough to infiltrate.
Hey, also, why did Jay give up so fast?
Yeah.
He just because she hits him with that bottle and he's down on the ground, and then he turns with this grin like,
that's the other thing.
You're right. I'm a robot.
Here's Jay. Getting
and not only that, that means she knew immediately. She had a fucking gun to his head. She just bam, done.
Yep. But instead, they get into a fight.
We need dialogue.
We need dialogue.
We need fun. Fun around the car.
The dramatic whatever. We can't have just like a John Wick fight scene to make her look like a badass. Instead, she empties her entire clip into his chest after she had already...
Not his head.
Not in his head. All...
Like she did when she was a kid.
That's... Well...
She can hit somebody.
Well, that's what I was going to say. And also, she had just shot Bernard in the chest, like not fucking half an hour before. Right. So it's like, how the fuck is this going to work? But yes, if you were going to copy Jay, this is how the writers should have done it. If you were going to do the cliche Mission Impossible 2, everybody's replaced by a robot, let me pull off my mask cliche thing here, then what you do is you have a callback to the Carver scene where she fucking domes Carver with that toy gun. And you get her on the ground, she pulls out the gun, she domes Jay. You have a nice, clean callback, very satisfying for the character, very satisfying for the viewer, but instead, no. She fucking wastes her entire clip on his chest, and she's about to get toasted. Like everything that they're trying to do about making C a badass character, they fucking ruined. Because instead, we need to have the writers are so in love with Maeve that they have to have Maeve come in and save the day with her gratuitous violence, badass way of killing somebody. And it's fucking weak. This was incredibly fucking weak. I mean, it's nice that Maeve is back online. I like Maeve just fine. Fucking bullshit scene. Yep. It makes me... It
would have been way better with Maeve just watching. If she just observed that, like that happened. And then, you know, C looks to the corner of her eye and sees Maeve,
Right.
you know.
Because
Maeve's like, oh, I'm impressed.
right, because Maeve saves her and Caleb in the first episode of the season. Now she's there and she sees that C doesn't need protection anymore. But that is not what they did. They fucking failed miserably. This was a big swing and a miss by the writers. If you enjoyed that clip, you might also like our full episode, link right here and in the description. The machines at Google think you might like that one, but are you going to let a machine tell you what you like, or me, a fleshy bag of mostly water? That said, we do need to feed these algorithms before they eat us, so don't forget to like and subscribe before they come for you.